morning and happy Monday. Welcome to week 4, I think, of at-home learning. I am here with you this morning with our next part of the Read Aloud Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's library. And today we are going to be starting with chapter 24. "Hey," said Miguel, hiding the tiny square of paper behind his back. "Yo!" "Yo," said Kyle. "What's up?" "Nothing, just, working the puzzle." "Yeah, us too." "Okay, later." "Later." Both boys thumped their fists on their chests like baseball players do. Miguel turned and ran for a staircase winding up to the second floor. "Come on, you guys," said Kyle as he took off running for a different set of steps. When Kyle, Akimi, and Sierra made it up to the balcony, they watched Miguel run up to the third floor. As soon as he disappeared into a room up there, Kyle unrolled the game sketch. "Look at the drawing, then look down at the floor," said Kyle. "They're the same," said Sierra. "Exactly. A circular room with a round desk at the center of that circle." "Awesome," said Akimi. "There are 10 doors ringed around the balcony up here on the second floor, just like on the game board." Kyle tapped the rendering of the spinner in the right-hand corner of the game plans. "See how the spinner is divided into 10 different colored sections numbered 0 to 9? "It looks like the Wonder Dome," said Akimi, "when it's not doing its kaleidoscope thing or running a video that makes you think the building is hang gliding across Alaska," which totally made me airsick. "Well, in the game, you have to go into all 10 Dewey Decimal book rooms and answer a trivia question about a book. If you answer correctly, you slip a book into your bookshelf and move on to another part of the library. When you have 10 books, one from each room, it's basically a race to see who can exit the library first." "Okay," said Akimi, sounding pumped. "This is good. This is major." "Except one thing's missing," said Kyle. "What?" asked Sierra. "Mr. Lemoncello always works a clever backdoor shortcut into his games. For instance, in Family Frenzy, you can use the coal chute to slide into the millionaire's mansion at the end," said Akimi. "Exactly. And in that castle game, Charles snuck out through the sewers. Anyway, when my brother Curtis beat me at Bibliomania—" "You lost?" Akimi acted surprised. "It happens, occasionally, but only because Curtis used this shortcut." Kyle tapped a black square on the game diagram. "It took him straight out to the street. He beat me by one spin of the spinner." "I don't see any black squares on the floor of our rotunda," said Akimi. "Maybe," said Sierra, "for this new game, Mr. Lemoncello put the secret square someplace besides the main room." Kyle nodded. "And maybe to win this new game, we need to play the old one." "You're a genius," said Akimi. "No, my brother Curtis is the genius. I just like to play games." "So, do libraries even have board games?" "Sure," said Sierra. I think the library in my dad's town has them." "Which department?" said Akimi, pulling out her floor plan. "Young adult." Akimi tapped her map. "Third floor. Stairs over there." "Let's go," said Kyle. But before they could take off, they heard Mr. Lemoncello's voice echoing in the rotunda. "Are you ready for your extreme challenge, Bridget?" Kyle and his teammates peered over the edge of the balcony. Bridget Wadge was alone in front of the librarian's desk, staring up at the ceiling. "Yes, sir," she said. "Are you sure?" Mr. Lemoncello's voice boomed out of hidden speakers. "You still have 22 hours to find the exit." "I want to go for it now, sir. Get a jump on everybody else." "Very well. Dr. Zinchenko, reset the statues." The 10 holographic statues in their recessed nooks flickered off, leaving black and empty spaces. "This extreme challenge is based on the classic Game of Authors card game," said Mr. Lemoncello. "Here are the authors in your deck." Magically, new holographic statues appeared as Mr. Lemoncello rattled off the authors' names: Charles Dickens, Raymond Chandler, Edgar Allan Poe, Agatha Christie, Patricia Highsmith, Mario Puzo, Frederick Forsyth, John le Carre, Dashiell Hammett, and Fyodor Dostoevsky. "He wrote Crime and Punishment," said Bridget excitedly. "Indeed he did." "In fact," said Bridget, "all those authors wrote crime novels." "Correct again." "However, that's the easy part. Dr. Z, how do we make this author's game ridiculously difficult enough to qualify as an extreme challenge?" "Simple," the librarian's voice echoed under the dome. "You will have 2 minutes, Bridget, to name 4 books written by each of our authors." Kyle gulped. "That's impossible," he whispered. Not really, said Sierra. She was about to start rattling off titles when Mr. Lemoncello said, Go! The sound of a ticking clock reverberated around the room. Okay, said Bridget down on the main floor. Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express, 10 Little Indians, Death on the Nile, The Mousetrap. Somewhere, a bell dinged, and the British lady in the sensible shoes disappeared. Poe, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Mask of the Red Death, The Purloined Letter, The Cask of Amontillado. Another ding, another statue vanished. Bridget kept going. Man, whispered Kyle, what grade is she in? College? 7th, said Akemi, just like us. Bridget Wadge kept tearing through the authors. The bell kept dinging, but the clock kept ticking too. 10 seconds, said Mr. Lemoncello. Bridget had saved the worst for last. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Crime and Punishment. Crime and Punishment. The one about the brothers. And then she stalled. She had run out of gas. A buzzer sounded. I'm sorry, Bridget, said Dr. Zinchenko. But, as we advised you, the extreme challenges are extremely difficult. You will be going home with lovely parting gifts. Kindly hand your library card to Clarence, and thank you for playing Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's library. That settles it, muttered Kyle. I am never, ever asking for one of those extreme challenge dealios. Me neither, said Akemi. I might, said Sierra. Maybe. Then she showed Kyle and Akemi the rumpled sheet of paper where she had written down 5 book titles for all 10 authors. Chapter 25. Akemi grabbed the door handle to the young adult room. It's locked. Here, said Sierra. Use my library card. Huh? Said Akemi. Your books on the back are different too. I think they all are. I got the Egypt game and the Westing game. 2 books about games, said Kyle. Sweet. Akemi slipped Sierra's card into a reader slot above the doorknob. The door clicked. Kyle pushed it open. The walls of the young adult room were painted purple and yellow. There were swirly zebra print rugs on the floor and a lumpy cluster of beanbag chairs. A couple of sofas were designed to look like Scrabble trays with letter square pillows. Akemi nudged Kyle in the ribs. Check it out. In the far corner stood a carnival ticket booth with a mechanical dummy seated inside. A Fun and Games banner hung off the booth's striped roof. The dummy inside the glass booth? He looked like Mr. Lemoncello. He wasn't wearing a turban, but the Mr. Lemoncello mannequin reminded Kyle of the Zoltar Speaks fortune-teller booths he'd seen in video game arcades. That's not really him, is it? Asked Akemi, who was right behind Kyle. No, it's a mechanical doll. The frozen automaton was dressed in a black top hat and a bright red ringmaster jacket. Since the booth had the Fun and Games banner, Kyle figured you might have to talk to the dummy to get a game. Hello? He said. We'd like to play a board game. Bells rang, whistles whistled, and chaser lights blinked. The mechanical Mr. Lemoncello jostled to life. If you want a game, just say its name. The life-size puppet's blocky jaw flapped open and shut, almost in sync with the words. Do you have Mr. Lemoncello's bewilderingly baffling bibliomania? Did Joey Pigza lose control? Was Ella enchanted? Huh? Just say yes, suggested Sierra. Yes, said Kyle. Well, great Gilly Hopkins, said the Lemoncello dummy. Here you go. Kyle heard some mechanical noises and some whirring. Then, with a clunk, a wide slot popped open in the front of the booth and a game box slid out. Enjoy, said the dummy. And remember, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. So be sure to read the instructions so you'll know how to play the game. Kyle took the box to a table. Okay, he said, raising the lid. Let's set it up, and... There was a beep, and the door opened. Where is he? Andrew Peckelman barged into the room, waving his antique magazine, something called Popular Science Monthly. Who are you looking for? Said Kyle. Mr. Lemoncello. I heard him. Is he in here? Kyle pointed towards the frozen Lemoncello doll sitting in the carny booth. It's a dummy. Peckelman whipped his head around from side to side. Is there a camera in here? Right over the door. Peckelman spun around to face it. Kyle, Akemi, and Sierra formed a human shield to hide their bibliomania box. I want to use a second life, Peckelman shouted at the camera. I want to talk to an expert. Very well, said a calm voice Kyle immediately recognized as belonging to Dr. Zinchenko. With whom do you wish to speak? The guy who wrote this stupid magazine article about cracking open bank vaults in the 1930s. I'm afraid we cannot arrange that for you, Andrew. Why not? The guy's a moron. He didn't tell me anything about how to open the front door, which is what my Google search said this magazine would do. We told you the way out isn't the way in. That was just a red herring, a trick to throw us off course. No, Andrew, it was not. What is the title of the article? Newest bank vaults defy the cracksman. Ah, well, that should have been a hint. Apparently, the reporter concluded that thieves could not break open the vault doors. When doing internet research, it is important to let me talk to the stupid idiot. I'm sorry. That magazine was published in 1936. The reporter is dead. Well, then I want to talk to Mr. Lemoncello. Excuse me? I want to talk to Mr. Lemoncello. This is highly irregular. And so's this game. You people have it rigged so Miguel Fernandez will win. I know you do. That's why Mr. Lemoncello's afraid to talk to me. Kyle heard the carnival booth dummy clatter back to life. Hello, Andrew. How may I help you? This Lemoncello didn't sound pre-recorded. Apparently, the real deal was using the dummy to do his talking. Your library stinks, shouted Peckelman. Oh dear, have you boys been playing that castle sewer game again? No, but this stupid article should have given me the stupid answer, but the stupid writer didn't write what he should have written. I see. And can you rephrase that in the form of a question? How many can I ask you? Just one, and then we're done. Okay, you're the expert on this stupid new library game, so where's your favorite contestant? Where's Miguel? Is that your final question? Yes. Assuming our video monitors are correct, Mr. Fernandez is on the other side of the third floor doing research in the art and artifacts room. Thanks. Andrew bolted out the door. The Lemoncello puppet bucked and drooped into its off mode. Kyle sprang up from the table. Come on, he said to Akemi and Sierra. Akemi sighed. Now where are we going? To make sure Peckelman doesn't do something stupid because Miguel kicked out of the game. And why would we do that? Because Miguel is our friend. Akemi glanced at her floor plan. The art and artifacts room is on the other side of the circle. Sierra, stay here and guard the game box. Come on, Akemi. Kyle and Akemi looped around the third floor balcony to the other side. Kyle glanced at his watch. It was almost 3 p.m. They really needed to start focusing on the game and not all this other monkey junk. As they neared the art and artifacts room, there was a shout, and the door flew open. Andrew Peckelman came running out. Behind him were a woman with the head and tail of a lioness, and a pharaoh in a cobra headpiece. The pharaoh stopped. May onions grow in your earwax. And a series of holographic hieroglyphics danced across the air. Andrew Peckelman raced to the staircase, grabbed both handrails, and hurried down to the second floor. The Egyptians vanished. Kyle and Akemi entered the art and artifacts room and found Miguel seated at a desk with what looked like blueprints. You okay? Asked Kyle. Yeah, man, I'm fine. Thanks. Those guys chasing Andrew, where'd they come from? Holograms from the giant Lego Sphinx and Pyramid exhibit. So why'd they turn on Andrew? Asked Akemi. I don't know. 1 minute he's yelling at me. The next, the Pharaoh and Sekhmet are yelling at him. Sek who? Said Kyle. Sekhmet, said Akemi, the Egyptian lion goddess and warrior. Haven't you read The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan? It's on my list, said Kyle. Or it would be. He definitely needed to start a reading list soon so he could catch up with everybody else. I bet the security guards in the control room fired up the Egyptian holograms when they saw Andrew going berserk in here, said Akemi. Good, said Miguel. A library is supposed to be a place for peaceful contemplation. That was when Sierra Russell rushed into the room. You guys! Right after you left, the Mr. Lemoncello dummy spit out a bonus card. And that is where we are going to stop for today. When we come back tomorrow, I will start with chapter 26. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and you get lots of work done. I will be looking for it. And don't forget that you can draw a picture from part of the story that you read today, and you can send it to me in Messenger on Dojo, and maybe you can be in one of the next videos. Alright, I will talk to you guys later. Bye!